A prenuptial agreement is a legal document that lets two people who plan to get married determine how their assets will be distributed in the event that the marriage ends in divorce. For some marriages, prenuptial agreements are highly sought after and may even be recommended by financial advisors. But the relationship between love and money is never simple, and there are issues to consider. Before we get started, we're eForms, the world's biggest database of legal documents. Make sure that you watch to the end of this video for a link to an official lawyer-approved prenuptial agreement. Now, let's take a closer look at these important documents. First, how are assets divided during a divorce without a prenup? If a divorce is amicable and the parties are able to agree on who gets what, then they are mostly free to do so. But if they're unable to agree, the courts come into play. In these situations, the state where the couple is living is important. 9 states in the United States, mostly in the western part of the country, are known as community property states. Assets held by each spouse before the marriage are considered separate property. So are inheritances and gifts given to one partner, regardless of when they were received. Most assets accumulated during the marriage, however, are considered community property, belonging to the union of the couple, and that during the divorce, they would be divided equally. The rationale for this is that a marriage dissolves the boundaries between two people, and that the love and support of one partner made the other successes possible, and vice versa. To see how big of an impact this can have, consider the case of Amazon.com founder Jeff Bezos, who got divorced from his wife Mackenzie in 2019. The couple got married in 1993 and Bezos founded Amazon in 1994 because they lived in Washington, a community property state, and because they reportedly lacked a prenuptial agreement. Amazon, one of the largest companies in the world, was considered community property. The remaining states are known as equitable distribution states. This means that a judge is tasked with dividing assets accumulated during the marriage in a way that is fair to both. Judges in these situations have broad discretion. In some situations, such as those where much of the couple's wealth is held in an asset that is difficult to divide, a judge may order one of the parties to surrender property acquired before the marriage. So why might someone want a prenuptial agreement? One situation in which a prenuptial agreement may be desired is when one partner has children from a previous marriage and wants to protect their inheritance rights. Another is when one partner may be linked to a large or rapidly growing business and wants to avoid the possibility that the confusion created in the wake of a separation could damage the enterprise. Overall, prenuptial agreements are typically sought out by those who feel that the rules for dividing assets following a divorce don't meet their expectations. And some people, especially those in the midst of a bitter divorce, are likely to have very different ideas on what is fair or how much their spouse contributed, for example, to the success of a business or investment. If you are thinking about a prenuptial agreement, speak with a financial advisor early on. This person can provide personalized advice to fit your financial situation, including what assets you ought to be thinking about. Because prenuptial agreements will override the property division laws, with some exceptions that well address shortly creating an agreement, can help couples prevent this dispute from occurring. The obvious risk is that doing so implies a worry in one of the partners that the marriage won't last, or a belief that one partner is unable to put love ahead of money. Regardless of the reason for entering a prenuptial agreement, it is essential that the partners have a frank discussion about it before proceeding any further. If you think you do want a prenuptial agreement, what are the considerations that go into creating one? Because prenuptial agreements tend to be more common among wealthy people, the assets involved often pose challenges for distribution. How, for example, should stock options that were earned before marriage but vest after marriage be considered? For this reason, seeking legal counsel is an important part of the process. Many states will require that each partner have separate legal counsel rather than one lawyer representing both parties. But what will invalidate a prenup? As stated previously, prenuptial agreements will mostly override state rules for property distribution, but there are situations in which the agreement will be set aside. If a partner hides significant assets or is found to have coerced the other partner into signing the agreement, courts can set aside the prenup. Many states also have specific things that prenuptial agreements cannot contain. For example, it's often illegal to include a term eliminating the obligation to provide spousal support. We're eForms, the internet's largest database of legal documents. To learn more about prenuptial agreements, including specific laws for every state, click the link below and don't forget to like and subscribe for more daily videos.